Shalom.
Shalom, it's Friday, and it was just Tuesday last time we were on. And even since then, we made quantum progress. And I think the clarity that we've derived is something that anybody listening today is going to come away with a direction and an opportunity to really expand their business. And the focus today is going to be call to action. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is action. You know, content gets
Yes.
better with activity. It doesn't
Yes.
get better with not activity. So a lot of people I know are sitting back and saying, well, what I got isn't good enough, compared to what? Most of it's a poll of one that someone takes, instead of really reaching out and finding opportunities to take action with. And I think that's one reason we're doing the LinkTank broadcast. And we just started the LinkTank group that, if you see on the bottom of the screen, is the URL that gives you a tremendous opportunity to join forces with us more directly, meet by plan instead of by accident, and really work hard at things. And I think that what we know to be true is LinkedIn's a long game, but people have a short patience, right? You know,
Done. Yes. A long game with short patience. That's like one of my best friends. He's got deep pockets and short arms.
can't reach. But
Well, cheapest guy around. He's got really deep pockets and short arms. Yeah, it's a long game and you got no patience. So the formula is easier. If you don't have the patience, then it's going to be difficult. Now we have ways to shortcut that, and it's been an exciting week because we had our first meeting with the LinkTank members, and so we spent an hour with them, and then every Thursday with the done for you clients, there's an hour. That's an hour that's been going on for 2 years, and then we did LinkTank on Tuesday, and now we're back on LinkTank on Friday. So, not to mention that we have almost 70 clients that we're running LinkedIn for daily. You've got your clients that you're running LinkedIn. It's LinkedIn out the wazoo. But that's what you want. If you're going to listen to someone, you don't want to listen to someone that's spending 8 hours a day playing archery, giving you LinkedIn advice, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
So
absolutely. And I think here's the key. Mike's got 2 years of background with his collaborative group. I've got a year and a half with my uh, collaborative group. So together, we've got 3 or 4 years of weekly experience working, helping people succeed in these groups. So when people come in, we're learning together, but we already bring proven experience. And what me and Mike love is sharing what's happening right now today. Even
yeah,
yesterday,
and today,
yesterday
well,
could be
yeah,
old.
and today, right now, we're going to share what happened yesterday because the big thing that came out of yesterday, Don, as we mentioned, is the call to action, which we're going
Mhm.
to go over a little bit of that. However, it's something that we've been talking about since we launched LinkTank 3 months ago, and that is activity. And that's why we have an incentive for the LinkTank membership for action takers. And when I price out my done for you, done with you service, I have an agreement that automatically expires in 3 days. If you take action, we don't never chase anymore because there's millions of potential clients. But within 3 days, you get a massive incentive, and if you don't, and it expires, you can always pay it at retail price. So everything is guided and directed towards action because without action, nothing happens. And so, we're going to step into the call to action. That's funny that it's named that call to action. But the setup from what we were talking about earlier with Don is that, we're hyper focused now on how to take the activity, big views into conversations, appointments, and sales. That's the path. I would say we have unless something radically changes on LinkedIn, we've got a great system to help people produce the best content on LinkedIn, which they love. And if they love it and it's good for LinkedIn and it's good for all the people on LinkedIn, then you're going to get their blessing and get the views. So the views are good. We have 10 or 15% of the customers that don't want sales. They just want to stay relevant and establish that thought leadership. But everyone else, we want sales.
Mm-hmm.
And but what's interesting, and I think it's what gets corrupt, is the fact that LinkedIn gets grouped into the classification of social media. And as grown-ups, because most of our clients are grown-ups, if we're supposed to be working and we're on social media, we feel like we're wasting time. We're inefficient. We're not doing what we should be doing. So that corruption of social media, and it's been going on for a long time, 10 years for Facebook, it kind of plays over, and it screws with people on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is not social media. And this is the distinction, right, Don?
Yeah,
LinkedIn is business.
that's fascinating what you just said, because it is like all the other social media if you treat it like all the social media, right? If you do the same thing on LinkedIn as you're doing on Facebook, it's going to be actually a negative to you. So the key really is understanding the platform you're on, which is LinkedIn. And with that thought of long game, short patience. The only way people stay in the game is if they start feeling something, right? They get a win, they see an opportunity, they experience it, right? And all of a sudden they become a believer. Up until then, unless they're taking action, because really people tend, I think, to go to LinkedIn, think they're an owner of a business now, right? And LinkedIn is their business. And they decide to work an hour and a half a day, and they've never been an employee of what they're doing, right? They're a boss. And instead of someone saying, hey, I got, and that's what someone should say is, what is my timeline? Get up front. If you say in 2 weeks, if I don't get action, I'm leaving, then you better do something in those 2 weeks to prove that it's you. Because I'll tell you one thing, at our meeting yesterday, there are people in the group getting fantastic results, right? And some people are struggling. Now, the people who are getting fantastic results are proving LinkedIn works. That's their proof, right? They're winners. So no one could say LinkedIn doesn't work. They could say, I didn't know how to work it, or I decided I didn't want to make the commitment or investment in it. And that's fair enough. But what we want to do is save people a lot of time and trouble, and hopefully make them a lot of money, a lot of friends, and really do a quality of life transformation for you,
Yeah.
right? So getting to call to action, me and Mike, we know pretty much a lot of the strategies, almost all the strategies. We keep up to date on all the technology, all of LinkedIn innovations. But when the rubber meets the road is really an activity plan and a context behind it, right? Not just do stuff, but do stuff for a reason that you can measure, right? And all of a sudden you're hitting goals because you're setting them and you're working towards them. So really that's the foundation to it. It gets better when, and Mike can share that, just from the process that we've developed and Mike's developed, that you can fit right into. I've spent 3 years every day on LinkedIn. Mike's there all the time too. So with that experience, you don't have to go through what we went through. And anyways, call to action is key. So Mike, why don't you,
Yeah. So
elaborate?
yeah. So the the concept is, well, this is what we know. Most people don't like sales. That's generally speaking, most people don't like sales. So if you don't like sales, then it's not going to be one of your activities that you're jumping up and down to do. So let's just say, okay, that seems to be true. Unless you're a salespeople, but the vast majority of executives and business owners and coaches and consultants and thought leaders are not natural born salespeople. So they don't like sales. It seems the older you get, the less you like sounding like salesy. Like the idea of sounding like a car salesman If you're in your 20s, it's like, yeah, I sound like a car salesman, but I'm making money and I'm single. I don't have money expenses. So it's fine. Call me a car salesman. But in your 30s, you're like, I'm not a car salesman. I'm just starting a family. In your 40s, you're like, I'm not a car salesman. I'm a dad. In your 50s, you're like, I'm getting too old. In your 60s and 70s, I'm not a car salesman. I'm a grandmother or a grandfather. Right? So there's like this resistance, this subconscious resistance about sales and sounding salesy. But if you think about it, if you are looking to grow your business, and this is what Don and I were talking about earlier, then you have to do the activities that are going to create leads. Without leads, you have nobody to speak to. And then you have to do the activities that take leads and warms them up and then gives you the right, and you earn the right to like give them an enrollment conversation, sell them. I don't mind also saying the word close them, because you got to get rid of all those names and you just have to sit in a place where is what I'm doing going to help somebody else? And if that's true, whether it's software that's going to make an entire organization more effective or efficient, or it's something in the, making the environment better, or teaching someone new skills, or parenting, or mental health, wellness, whatever it is, if you know that you're going to create an impact for people that are working with you, and then I give you a pool of 100 people. That's one pool. I give you another pool of 100, and I say, go at it. And in the first pool, because you don't like sales, you're not doing the activities, 12 of those people join up. Then I say, okay, on this next pool, let's do an experiment. Forget about everything you know. We're going to do these activities. We're going to get you in these conversations. And lo and behold, 50 of them sign up. So, how do you feel about helping 50 people versus 12? So it's a mind game. That's why vision boards work, and you have to understand what are these limiting beliefs. These limiting beliefs are just things that are running in the subconscious that are just holding you back. So a simple exercise like that says, okay, well, I want to stand in the place of power. I want to help 50 versus 12, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to do that. Now, fortunately, nothing that we're doing on LinkedIn is salesy or makes you
Mhm.
sound like a salesperson. So it's completely in your imagination, right, Don?
Yeah, here's the thing, and I think you hit it right on the nose. The only reason someone wouldn't want to be selling is they either have no confidence or understanding of what they're offering, right? They got no confidence in the product, or they got no confidence in themselves to deliver and support the product. So here's an easy example. If I gave you $120 bills and I said you got an hour to exchange this for a $10 bill, right? And it's all legit. And all I got to do is go to people you know or people you see on the street and say, hey, I got a something. I'll give you a 20 for a 10. How hard would that be? You'd be looking for the best. The people needed it, right? And that's what this is. Who needs an opportunity?
So
Who
you
needs?
literally have a $20 bill, and you go up to someone and you say, "This is a real $20 bill. I'll give you the $20 bill, and you just give me a $10 bill."
Mhm, right?
Right.
And at that point, and if you know it's real, they know it's real. How hard? You wouldn't even think of selling it. You would say, hey, this, and if they had a question, say, move on, right? I don't have time for doubters. And I'm saying the same thing here. I love sales because it brings value to the people I sell to. People who think they're selling and only grabbing value and maybe putting people in a bad position shouldn't be selling that product. There's a zillion services, there's a zillion products. Find something that's superior to what's out there. Find something on the cutting edge, right? Like we've done with LinkedIn, and
Yeah.
be in front of it.
So interesting. So one of my Kabbalah teachers is a great woman. I was talking about um, doing a partnership with another organization. This is exactly along the lines of what you're talking about. And it was going back and forth, and it was a bit of a negotiation because who's doing what for what, how do we split the revenues. And basically she said, look, if you're going to get stuck in all the data, that's not really what's important. I want you to basically step away from all the data and then actually feel into this relationship. Do you feel like you're giving, or is someone, this other person, are they taking, or you feel like you're both giving, or you feel that it's not congruent? Because at the end of the day, you get into the numbers, but you really forget what you just said. Because then I said, oh my gosh, I mean, I it was a good deal, because in the beginning everything looks like a good deal, but actually what was going on subconsciously, which she helped me work through with some exercise and some body movement and really focusing on this relationship and where we were vibrating, that I was like, no, you know what? You're right. It's not that they're taking more than they're giving, which is why these numbers are so tough for me, because subconsciously there wasn't this fair exchange. So, what you said about the selling versus adding value is crucial. And it's another framework, because I know the people that we're dealing with, or all have specialized knowledge, and so either their services or their products are great. And so it's more of, okay, I'm not selling a crappy product. It's more like reframing it in their own mind that I have a lot of value, and I have to get into a conversation to provide the value to somebody else.
Exactly. And here's the thing, we have seen transformations from people in your group and my group, from where they started to where they are to where they're going. And it's here's the other thing when you say fair exchange. The other element that comes into place is timing, right? In the beginning, you got to prove yourself, you got to justify confidence and trust. So you're giving away 20s for 10s. At the end of the day, if you gave away 10 20s for 10 10s, you're out $100. Meanwhile, you had 10 giveaways. At that point, maybe now you're getting a 20 for a 20, right? Because now they're getting better, they're smarter, you built them up, they're going to start returning. And then pretty soon you put a 20 in and you get a 50. And pretty soon you put a 5 in and you get 100, because they're on their way. So if it's a long game, and let's say it's a 3-year program, get a franchise, see how fast you get profitable. It'll take you 2-3 years to bust your ass for 60 hours a week and you turn a profit. So the point is LinkedIn is no different. Here's one thing I'm learning too about our LinkTank discussions. If you join with us, you're going to get involved in some of the most heady, advanced LinkedIn conversations, and also life altering insights that, like Mike says, you could say, hey, I apply this to LinkedIn, but hey, maybe why don't I become a giver for a while? Remember on Seinfeld where what did the opposite one episode? Everything was going wrong, so I'm just to do the opposite, and everything worked out, right? And
Yeah.
so I think in this case, if people look at this and say, what do I got to lose? Because you're always come back to yourself at the end of the day, right?
Yeah,
And maybe
and the best, the part I love the best on is that when we see people actually having fun with it now, because they go from the whole thing about, oh, I'm on LinkedIn and it's social media and I'm not, like, I shouldn't be doing this because it's not like business, to like, oh yeah, this is biz dev, and I want to spend 30 minutes to an hour or 2 hours every day finding the most incredible people around the world that I can help and make an impact, and they can make an impact with me, to then being afraid to doing reach out to selling sales, to then being like, oh, if I add value and my LinkedIn is out, profile is amazing, and I'm teaching on LinkedIn, that they will, whoa, a second, they want to be in my network. Yo, hell yeah. To then saying, okay, well then, okay, well, when you do the outreach, you do it in a way where you're going to do some research on some people and then cleverly just connect with them like a human to human connection. And then all of a sudden, we're getting on average 50% conversion to cold outreach for across the board on average for all the customers. And some of the strategies are close to 75%. So every 20 outreach you're doing a day, now you're 10 are saying yes. So then, the next step is to, figure out, okay, how does that communication say, hey, you want to jump on a Zoom? And then, there's only a small percentage of people that are going to try to do business on the first time you meet someone. but then you build a relationship. And then the great thing about LinkedIn is it's your broadcast station. So even if it's a no, it's a no now. It's not a no forever. And LinkedIn's going to keep showing them, you, showing you them, showing you them, showing you them. And you just become more of a force to be reckoned with. And at the time when that person's ready to make that decision, or I call it the why is big enough that they have to, that they just can't take it anymore. They can't take their belly anymore. So they're going to do the exercise thing. They can't take the frustration with time management. So they're going to buy your productivity software. They can't take the fact that they have no sales. So they're going to buy your sales program. They can't take whatever it is. It gets to the point where you just can't take it anymore. Well, then the only thing they do is call you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most magical part. The longer that you do this and you stay in front of people, front of mind, and people are like, wow, he or she knows their shit, then inbound starts to come. And then it becomes really fun because that's the phone call that says, look, I've been watching your stuff for a while. It's great. I got a good idea what you do. I think I'm ready. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah. Well, let's just go through some of the details. Who's your ideal customer? How you do this? Let me do it. Perfect. Oh, by the way, the sales cycle went from 90 days to 9 minutes. There's no conversation about pricing or haggling or pricing, and they're not shopping you. So,
Yeah, no, it's true.
and
It's go ahead,
yeah,
Mike.
and they end up being better customers that stick around longer, that get better results, and they have a higher lifetime value customer.
Well,
This is magic.
no, and what I learned just now, and Mike's hat is so apropos because what we're talking about is spreading love, right? And here's one thing about myself that I'll share with you. I love giving 20s for 10s just to see people smile. When me and my wife would go out to dinner and take a lot of people, we'd be driving home and she'd say, "Hey, did you add the tip in?" And I'd say, "Yeah, I gave him, 20%." He said, "Well, they already added the tip in and you tipped on top of the tip." And, I said to her, I said, as much as it hurts us, which it doesn't, look at how much it helped that waiter or waiter to get a double tip. You know what I mean? So there was no loss. It was an exchange. And I hope, if everybody wants to take $10 from me, I don't have a problem, but eventually, just like we talked about with quality commenting, people feel some obligation, some responsibility, some gratitude. And to Mike's point, when they think or they get in trouble, right? Or they need something bad, who do they turn to? People they trust, people they know, people that have always given them a fair shake. And what we've already talked about is we're not trying to make money off of people. We're trying to make money with people and for people, and the opportunity is big enough, it allows for that. See, we're working on excess because of the numbers we won't go into on LinkedIn. It's disproportionate to active people. See, that's where activity comes in. You don't even have to be good to be active. But once you're active, you'll get better and you'll prove something to yourself and you'll prove something to us, because our goal is how many people can we get in, how fast can we get them up, and how fast can we demonstrate that if they can do it, you can do it. And hopefully this group goes to 1,000 members.
Yeah, the other thing I like that you've said in some of our prior conversations, which is another one of these icing on the cakes. If you're consistent and you're teaching, you're a subject matter expert, and you're just consistent, then anyone that starts conversations with you, they're starting a conversation with a person that they know and believe is consistent. And those are the type of people that you want to do business with. Like you're showing how you
Mm-hmm.
show up, right? This is like an old expression. I don't know who said this, whatever, but how you do anything is how you do everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like I don't know where that came from. How you do anything is how you do everything. So if you're doing business and you're using LinkedIn as biz dev, and it's a platform where it's not what you get, it's what you give, and you're showing up consistently. And look, you've been showing up for 2 years. I've been showing up for 3 years. Like, I think it's pretty clear that people know, okay, these guys aren't going anywhere. But everyone gets that opportunity because no matter what you're doing, your business, your management, your C-suite, whatever it is, you start showing up. Then how do you take that away from someone? You don't. And like what you said, when you start relationships, when people actually know, like, and trust, understand who you are, you're indoctrinated them, you automatically take the position as a thought leader, as a trusted advisor. And that's the most important relationship and position to have inside of a relationship. Let's just take, for instance, um, any company that's doing stuff online. So, what do they have if you're doing stuff online? You have someone that's building your websites, someone that's doing your copywriting, someone that's doing your graphics, someone that's doing your funnels, someone that's doing your advertising, someone that's doing your social media. And there's probably more. So, okay, I'm a company and I've got these are vendors, right? So what's the level of, relationship with a company and a vendor? It can be meaningful or not. What determines whether that relationship is meaningful is how you show up. Because I know when I show up and I come in as the LinkedIn guy, I have experience in all this other stuff, but I'm like so focused on our clients getting results and in that position with that consistency that you take over the trusted advisor position. And then they're asking you about everybody. This person, I've been working on this website for 6 months and it's over budget and over time. Can you take a look and, like, who might you know that can straighten out this project? But you have to earn that position. And it's the best position, right? In business wise, Don, you had those relationships with big box stores, right?
Yeah, no, I did great in what I did because there's a saying: the people solve the biggest people problems, make the most money, and that's true, right? And what we're talking about today is people coming into this with a limited mentality, right? They limited beliefs, and it's easier now to say, "Hey, we don't want you to sell if you're not a salesperson. You won't do good at it." But if you're a provider, if you're a service giver, right? If you're a nurse type person who likes to go out and help people and offer them something that could change their life, this is for you. And when you put it in that context, it's not how much did you make this week or how much did you sell, how much did you help, right? We talked about it yesterday. You go around LinkedIn and there's millions of names, 800 million. And there's people who are active, right? So you go to those active people and look at their posts, look at their comments. A lot of them will share their problems with you, right? Here's what I'm in the middle of. If you're an understanding, supportive person, you would say, "Hey, I read your article. I can relate to what you're saying. I've been through it. Love to have a call to share my experience." And now you're coming to help them. It's not like, "Yeah, I'm in business. I know you got a problem. The business problem I can fix, and the rest of the problems will go with it." No, you repeat what they told you, because then there's no challenge with relevancy. If someone says, "I got a flat tire," and I say, "Can I come and fix it?" and you come and fix it, there was no ulterior motive. But what it was is you chose to fix somebody's tire that you really want to get to know and be part of. And we talked about that. Have a target, 5, 10 people that you ring their bell, follow their post, see what their issues are. To the point with big boxes, what I made out so well is I went to the biggest manufacturers and I said, "What's your biggest problem?" Right? I didn't say, "Here's how I want to make a lot of money." I said, "Tell me what you can't do or you need help with." I got a big organization. And at that point, I was on every major marketplace, from eBay to you name it, doing up to 10,000 packages a day. Okay. So it was huge. 42,000 square foot warehouse, had 42 people in high tech, right? I had dedicated people in Google 12 years ago. And anyways, I don't want to go into the past, but I can bring that to the future. And what I'm saying is it's all perspective. If you got the right perspective, and it's based, and Mike is very strong with that, on real numbers. He's got tremendous amounts of data, right? This isn't just two of us putting our finger up in the air and thinking where the wind blows, or our belief in something that may and may not happen. But it's just saying, and here's the icing on the cake. It's $47 a month. If you're
The
looking to,
LinkTank program, yeah, for the LinkTank program.
yeah, it's unbelievable. So, anyways, I hope this program kind of shared our enthusiasm, our confidence, and our excitement in what we're doing, because why would we be so excited if we didn't believe? Why would we work so hard if we didn't have the confidence? And why would we invite people we don't even know for minimal amounts of money, but maximum amounts of commitment? And an inch, all we want to know is I'm going to give it a fair try. At that point, there's no risk, no stress, and there's no repercussions. You know,
Yeah, yeah. It's so true. And then I think we'll wrap it up because it's 2:36 or 20 minutes. Is we I don't think we ever finished on 20 minutes. I don't think we ever started on time either. But we're getting better. The Yeah, because I've had some people that weren't, let's say, ideal customers, but they really pulled like a heartstring, and I know that from analyzing their business, like there's a jump they need to make. And I've worked with them and I said, look, the only thing I'm asking is that you bust, if you bust your ass, I can help you get to the next level. If you don't, then you're wasting both of our time. I'm willing to actually spend more. Like, it's crazy. The mastermind that we're running for the LinkedIn Done For You should be a $20,000 a year program. It's included. If I'm going to spend extra hours with people because I care for them, it would cost thousands and thousands. But I just say, no, look, I understand where you're at. I've been there. We work with a lot of people that are there. Like, if you're going to say 150%, I'm in, and be coachable and follow a proven system that works, then let's do it. Conversely, if you're not going to be saying that, and I'm going to hold you to it, then you're wasting both of our time.
mm-hmm.
And that's what it comes down to, is that, this is the reason why you and I are so excited about LinkTank at $47 a month. Initially, it's going up because we just want to be able to, help a lot of people. A lot of people, even this discussion today about sales, not so detailed in the call to action, but the entire methodology and how to think through the process and position yourself, and the power of LinkedIn and using it for biz dev, and, the strategic aspect of that you and Bonnie both described. Like, that's enough to make a shift for someone that can help them for the rest of their lifetime. But you need to be able to take action. That's what we always say. Like, just hearing this information, my core business is education. It's not, no one needs more information. It's the application of the information. And that's where Don and I are great, because we're going to say, do something. It's not like a mean thing, but it's a reality. Without the application of the information, nothing. So I'm
Yeah,
done, Don. You want to tie it out?
yeah, for sure. Because at the end of the day, me and Mike are doing what we're asking people to do, right? I mean, so if you can work half as hard as us, you'll get hugely successful. You really will. And you got to trust yourself to trust yourself. You got to invest in yourself. You got to make some bets. I mean, if you've got some ambition and you've got some vision of an opportunity, or you just want a better life, if you're just sick and tired of being sick and tired and you want to do something about it, and it's not to knock people, it's just to say authenticity means everything on LinkedIn, right? If people say that's who I am, be who you are, right? And show up that way. And then you get defined by what you do, not what you say, right? And Mike always is like, you got to know your stuff. And I'm like, well, that's nice, but you got to do your stuff. Knowing it without doing it is just making you smarter. So, what I want to encourage people, and what's important too, if you want to get to know us better and all our opportunities, go to our LinkedIn profiles, right? Connect with us if you like, message us. That's a great place to start because it gives you the whole ball of wax. If you're serious and you like what we talked about with LinkTank membership, join, right? The link's there. It's got a fabulous presentation. It's like $1,200 worth of added value. I'm not selling it. I'm
12,000. 12,000, Don,
Oh,
not 12.
12,000. I'm sorry. Even at 1,200 for 50, it's 24 to 1. But the point is, it has that value, right?
Yeah.
And it could be life changing. So, with that, I want to thank everybody again for tuning in. Share this video with all your friends who might need this. Tune
They
back
need a
in on.
sales kick. They need a sales kick. Share the video.
Yeah, well, that should be the activity of the day. The takeaway is share this video with 3 friends on LinkedIn. Wouldn't that
and
be
feel
great?
good about it because you're adding
And,
value.
and tell us you shared it, right? And we'll probably see it anyways, and we'll reward you. Anybody who shares this video, we will give you an opportunity to come on the show. How's that? So, we're going to, it might be for two, three
Good.
minutes, right?
Let's
But
do
we'll
it.
introduce you, and we love to have you on. So, anyways, with that, have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. We'll see you
Yes.
on Tuesday. And in the meantime, reach out to us if you got any questions or we can help you in any way. We got a lot of 20s for 10s. Take
I love
care.
it.
Have a
Shabbat
wonderful week.
shalom, everyone. Pow. We're out.